And indeed, welcome. As you can see, we have 2 new openings for Jump Into the Fire, and I am Red Zone Ron. Because the last 3 times we've tried to do this shit, Blue Radio, based out of Bogota, Colombia, has claimed copyright over the self-produced videos created by my son, Christopher, who, by the way, along with Eddie T, is the host of the Scream Time Horror Podcast, available on YouTube. So subscribe, Scream Time Podcast on YouTube. Hope everybody has had a great day. Not yet, Kevin. Not yet. But if those bastards in Bogota, Colombia, Blue Radio, who are Facebook snitches, try to claim copyrights, and they had no copyright at all, but we changed it just for the hell of it. Time for a change anyway. But if they try it again, we will then only live stream on my YouTube channel. I will once again post the link to that so you can subscribe. So let's see if we can make it through without Blue Radio in Bogota, Colombia, screwing with me tonight. Okay? Okay. Interesting stuff happening today. First of all, Governor Abbott in Texas is lifting the mask mandate in like 9 days. In the state of Texas. COVID's not gone yet. The numbers are dropping. But are we out of the woods yet? I am still being extremely cautious. The Tennessee Department of Health announced today that the next group is ready to come online, and guess who is in the next damn group? Me. When we should have been first in line. People with underlying health conditions should have been the first ones vaccinated, but instead we've had to wait. Most of the COVID deaths have comorbidities. People had other conditions which COVID exacerbated and led to their death. If I need to repeat this, I will. I have had 6 heart attacks, quintuple bypass, and 8 stents, and nobody makes any smart-ass remarks about my cigar. Howdy, Alan, and hello, Kevin Burke. You are a good man, and I will post a link to his latest podcast. This guy is the expert on youth baseball. Hands down. Hands down. But you would think 6 heart attacks, quintuple bypass, and 8 stents. And my doctor looks at me back in January and said, "Hello, son. So far, so good. Everybody say hello to my son who produces and creates these videos for us on Jump Into the Fire. And as always, make sure if you're a horror movie fan, you're giving Chris and Eddie T a listen. When they do new content, I do post it up on my Facebook page. They are the worldwide experts on all things horror movies. Now, when COVID first hit, my first trip to the doctor back last June, because I'd had a January appointment. I have them January and June every year. And she said last June. If you get COVID, you will die. No question about it. In a way, I was lucky because the softball season had already been canceled. The Lookouts had canceled their season. The Southern Conference had canceled their football season, or fall football, let's put it that way. But along comes October, still no vaccine, so I'm on the sideline during Mocs women's basketball. I'm on the sideline for spring football with the Chattanooga Mocs. I'm on the sideline with Mocs softball. But now the news comes that here in the next couple of weeks, I should be able to get my vaccine. My decision is going to be, do I want the Pfizer, do I want the Moderna, or do I want the single dose Johnson & Johnson? So, but is it time to lift the mask mandates? I don't know. I think when we get to a certain threshold, maybe on vaccination, that should be considered. But let's leave them in place another 30 to 60 days. It's not hurting anybody. It's really not. And people are so quick to say, well, flu deaths aren't as bad. It's because we're wearing masks. That is reducing the spread of influenza. Okay? So I'm not in agreement with Governor Abbott on lifting it so soon. I mean, here in the not too distant future, Mayor Jim Coppinger of Hamilton County is going to have to address it. So we'll see how Mayor Jim does. But I'll continue to wear mine until I am satisfied that the vaccine is in my system. And then if it's required, I'll still wear the mask. But it looks like I'll be ready to roll when the Lookout season starts 1st of May. And I heard an interview with the Phillies manager, Joe Girardi, and even in spring training games, the players are actually enjoying having fans in the stands. They're allowing about 200. SEC, the upcoming SEC men's basketball tournament, they're going to allow, I think it is 20% of capacity of Bridgestone Arena. That's going to be about 5,000 people or so. The Southern Conference tourney that's going to be held this weekend over in Asheville, max attendance, I think, is 554. Alan, you're a good man. So there should be, the Mocs football team does not play at home again until I think it's March 27th. And at that time, they will allow limited fan attendance in Finley Stadium. Will I have my vaccine in arm? And it would be bad of me to get my vaccine, feel comfortable, and then push my substitute out. My substitute for the spring football season. I can't do that. I'll return to Mocs football in the fall. Tennessee legislature is still, I don't know what. Oh, one other side note. I didn't have a whole lot of respect for Zach Brown to begin with. I think he's an overrated blowhard. And if you talk to folks at the McKenzie Arena, When he appeared there, he was a jackass backstage. One of my favorite songs to play either on Friday or Saturday night late in the game at AT&T Field to get the crowd a little involved, Hello, Darlene, is Chicken Fried. You know, crowd sings along. Not quite on the level they do with Friends in Low Places. But I will not be playing that anymore because now it's being used for a damn Applebee's commercial. If you were going to sell Chicken Fried for commercial purposes, why Applebee's? I mean, come on, man. He hadn't had a hit record in a long time, so I guess he needed some money. So, what can I say? You won't hear it at AT&T Field anymore because I control the music that's played. And don't complain it's too loud. If you've ever been to a Major League Baseball game, if you've ever been to an NFL football game, Sam, my man, Sam, who I used to work with when he was in marketing with Chattanooga Mocs. Man, I'm glad you dropped by, Sam. Boy, I'm missing it. I'm jonesing bad for basketball. I'm jonesing bad for softball and football. But hello, Dave Staley, my buddy. But good news, Dave, do not tell Kim and Josh. Please don't tell them, but I watched News Channel 9 at 6. Don't tell them. Don't tell them I watch. But that's where I heard the news that I'm in the next group to get the vaccine so I can get back to freaking work. Man, being a hermit has been a pain in the ass. But the Tennessee state legislature is still all over this shit. They are still wanting to fix it so you don't have to have a permit to carry a weapon. The Senate bill to ban trans athletes, of which there is no incident ever in the state of Tennessee, has made it through the Senate committee and getting ready to be voted on. What? Why? Why are they wasting my time or wasting my tax dollars? Okay. When, like I said the other night, there are 600,000 Tennesseans without health insurance, and the majority of them do not qualify for TennCare because Tennessee will not participate and take federal money for Medicaid. And don't say go to the emergency room. Hi, Kim. Tell Kip hello. Whoops, I didn't mean to mention his name. But don't say go to the emergency room, because if you have a chronic health condition, you cannot go to the emergency room for freaking treatment. They're not going to consistently treat you for heart failure. Did you know heart failure does not qualify for TennCare in Tennessee? You can be in congestive heart failure, but you will not qualify for TennCare. What qualifies for TennCare is very small, and so many Tennesseans are left with no way to take care of their chronic health conditions. Let's say let's bring it in to a sports world. You got a high school we'll just go with a high school football player that blows out his knee. Both of his parents are unemployed and they have no insurance. What happens to the kid? I was very fortunate when I had my heart attack in, I want to say 2017. I didn't have insurance. Erlanger wrote off the bill. They wrote it off. It was damn near $100,000 for 2 days in the hospital. And they wrote it off. I was very lucky. That's when I was diagnosed to be in heart failure. I'm no worse. In fact, a little improvement. Thank you, Kim. Parents can purchase a cheap school insurance policy. Let's hope they are able to do that. But TennCare would not touch me. Congestive heart failure did not meet the guidelines for TennCare. Chronic health condition that I now take 8 pills every morning and 5 pills every night. Thank goodness for Medicare. And a Medicare supplement, thank you, Rob Covington and Humana, to where my drugs are $3 a pop. So, but they're wasting, the Tennessee legislature is wasting our time trying to stop something that has never happened in the state of Tennessee, and that's a transgendered athlete. And they want Billy Joe Bob to be able to go strapped without a permit in Cracker Barrel so he can, protect everybody, because there's a mass shooting at Cracker Barrel every freaking day. Okay. But what I wanted to get to tonight, and I know I go from one tangent to another. Ever since January the 20th, the crap on social media has not stopped. Now, I try to be respectful, and most of the time I just scroll on by. But folks, in case you've not heard, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is the president of the United States. Not Donald J. Trump, who was, is it not in, hello, Susan. Folks, that lady right there, Susan Sutton Vaughn, was my first crush. Isn't one of the commandments to not make any graven images? Now, I'm no biblical scholar. My father was a Baptist minister before he married my mother, and then he became a minister of music because he was old school. I love you too, Susan. But there was a freaking gold statue of Donald Trump waving his magic wand at the CPAC convention. But they still continue, some of his supporters still continue to spread misinformation. For instance, the Keystone Pipeline, which was never designed to supply oil to the United States. It's Canadian oil that would have been exported. That didn't cause gas prices to go up. Demand went up. The country is opening up more and more. People are going back to work. Schools across the country are reopening. There is more need for gasoline. Then here come the speculators. Which drive the price up. Then you have the natural disaster in Texas, which shut down all the refineries in the state of Texas, which reduced supply. Then there's a thing called summer blend, which is going out now. Why they still have a summer blend, I don't know. But this is not Joe Biden causing the gas prices to go up. And you've got them hooping and hollering about trans people and this and that. And I just get to thinking, has my generation, have we become our own parents? I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved my mother and father. But there were some ideals that they held that I found abhorrent. And that's where where I'm at now is, as my father grew older, he did away with some of those ideas that he had. But I can see a lot of people on social media who have not let go of the ideas of the past. My generation was a generation that was going to change things. And to a certain extent, we have, but to a certain extent, we're still holding on to stuff that doesn't apply to 2021. Caucasian males are not the majority anymore. And the sooner some of them face that, the better off we will be. I just don't get it. Kim says it's right. They're afraid of change. Folks, the world is changing. And it's like, get on the train. Because there's nothing out there that is going to hurt you. The state of Tennessee passes legislation they're going to pass legislation to ban transgenders from competing in sports unless it's their biological gender. Number one, it's never happened in the state of Tennessee. And number two, probably will never happen. Why do it? But people are all up in arms because President Biden appointed a transgender to the cabinet. Who cares? Who gives a damn? I don't. It's kind of like the Black Lives Matter thing. We do have a problem still in this country. Were some of the tactics used right? No. But we still have a huge racial problem in the United States. That has been brought to the forefront with George Floyd and others. And then you have people who jump on board the Marjorie Taylor Greene train and ride it when, my God, the woman is a racist, Islamophobic. And the same people that support her, hey, guess what? Shaquille O'Neal is a Muslim. How many of you knew that? Two of the greatest athletes of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who I still contend is the greatest professional basketball player that has ever lived. And the greatest boxer that has ever lived was a Muslim. And there are people of my generation that don't want Muslims here. We've got to take a good hard look at ourselves inside. It is 2021. It is not 1955 anymore. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's going to be on AEW tomorrow night, Alan. Shaquille O'Neal is going to be wrestling with Cody Rhodes. Oh, my God. That's going to be like Dennis Rodman when he made an appearance at WCW. But isn't it time we take a good, hard look at ourselves and what we believe in? And that some of the things that we're holding on to are a little bit antiquated. Now, I'm old school. I think today's music sucks. There's a reason I listen to WFLI Big 93, Big 95.3, because at KZ10 sucks, you're never going to hear the Beatles. You're going to hear a steady rotation of Zeppelin, Skinner, Zeppelin, Skinner, Zeppelin, Skinner, and somehow they think Motley Crue's classic rock. By definition, classic rock is music released between the arrival of the Beatles in 1964 and the end of the Eagles in 1980. That's it. That's the classic rock period. And KZ does not play classic rock. But the last few years, I've looked at myself. And old things, I can't agree with them anymore. I'm becoming more and more tolerant And if I disagree with you, I'm not going to name call you. That seems to be the response from a lot on both sides, is to start name calling. But it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse with those on the right side than it used to be. I had a minister tell me people who voted Democratic are evil. Say what? People who voted for Democrats are evil at the core of their being. But there are so many qualities that my parents had that I try to live up to. But there are other things that they held on to that I don't want a part of. And a lot of people in my generation are still holding on to those beliefs they grew up with. Change is not bad. Okay? You know, we're lucky I'm here tonight, because can anybody tell me what movie this is?
One pork chop. One.
Hey, Frank! It's disgusting, right? Sick. We just washed the hair.
Yeah.
You know, I work on my hair a long time, and you hit it. He hits my hair.
Take care of his hair. I might take a walk.
Can you tell me what that movie was? Because it's on Showtime right now. Come on, somebody's got to know what movie that is, what movie that came from. If you were of age in the late 70s, you lived this life. I'm waiting on an answer because I don't want to give it away yet. But if you were alive in the late 70s, a lot of us lived this life. It was get dressed up on Friday or Saturday or both. You got it, Alan. Saturday Night Fever. Got dressed up on Friday or Saturday or both, Friday, Saturday. And you hit Brainerd Road. Or you went to the Golden Gateway to Dr. Sage's. I was able to do it for a little while. Then I went to the Navy, and we started doing that in the Navy. We had places we went to. It brings back some good times, memories, but boy, it also brings back some memories when I had too much to drink. Thank God I'm sober now. Drinking coffee and having a cigar. But, you know, so far we've made it through without Blue Radio of Bogota, Colombia screwing with us tonight. I appreciate everybody's patience the last few times we've attempted to do this, but maybe we'll make it through. Maybe we'll make it through. We will see you Thanks, everybody, for, like I say, being patient, tuning in tonight. You guys have meant more to me during this COVID thing than you will ever know. And I do know a local high school that is looking for a public address announcer. So if that's something you'd be interested in, get in touch with me. I have no interest in doing high school football again. I'm too damn old. I will stick to my mocks. I'll stick to the lookouts. But high school football and Scenic City football are a thing of the past. So if you know anybody that would be interested in doing, and it's a rather large high school in Northwest Georgia that's looking for a public address announcer, reach out to me. We will see you Thursday night at 7.
Oh, look at me. I'm rambling again. Well, I hope you folks enjoyed yourselves. Catch you later on down the trail. Say, friend, you got any more of that good sarsaparilla?
Goodbye. With without a doubt, gonna do a burn down. Think it's running out empty for far too long. Cause I'm getting so low. Nothing can you give me. Makes me feel so bad. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.